The Sun is a star, not so different from the stars that can be seen in the night sky. It may look different, but that is because the Sun is many times closer to us than any other star, which allows us to see how hot and bright it is. The Sun may be close to us compared to other stars, but it is still very far from the Earth, about 93 million miles or 150 million kilometers away. Although the Sun is so far away, it only takes sunlight about 8 minutes to reach the Earth because light travels so fast. Because the Sun is so far away, however, it seems much smaller than it really is, more than 100 times the width of the Earth. The Sun is so large that if it were empty, more than 1 million Earths could fit inside. The Sun is the largest object in the solar system. In fact, if you collected everything in the solar system, including the Sun, the planets and dwarf planets, comets, asteroids, and moons, the Sun would account for more than 99% of it, with everything else adding up to less than 1% of the solar system. As far as stars go, however, the Sun is average or even small in size. It is called a yellow dwarf, and there are billions of stars like it in the Milky Way. Like other stars, the Sun is made of gases, mostly hydrogen, with a little helium, and only traces of other elements. These gases are held together by the Sun's gravity, which creates such intense heat and pressure that it causes nuclear fusion, a process in which hydrogen atoms fuse to create helium at its core. The Sun's core is about 27 million degrees Fahrenheit or 15 million degrees Celsius. By the time heat from the Sun's core reaches its surface, temperatures have dropped considerably. The surface of the Sun is only about 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 5,500 degrees Celsius. Unlike the Earth, the Sun does not have a solid surface. You may be surprised to learn that the Sun's gassy surface is not calm and quiet. Instead, the Sun is constantly moving and changing, with sunspots, or dark patches of cooler temperatures, and solar flares, or eruptions of high-energy radiation, frequently marking its surface. All of the planets in the solar system, including the Earth, orbit around the Sun. In turn, the solar system orbits around the center of the galaxy in which we live, the Milky Way. It only takes the Earth 1 year to complete an orbit around the Sun, but scientists estimate that it will take the Sun about 230 million years to complete an orbit of the galaxy. Since ancient times, humans have understood how important the Sun is for life on Earth. Without the energy provided by the Sun's radiation, the Earth would be dark, cold, and uninhabitable. Although it has been studied for thousands of years, there is still much to learn about the Sun.
Of the Moon. The surface of the Moon. Earth's only natural satellite has many craters, plains, mountains, and valleys.
Craters were formed when meteorites, comets, and asteroids smashed into Moon's surface at high speed. The flat areas are called seas or maria. The rocky mountain areas are called highlands.
Scientists believe these were formed around 3.5 to 4.5 billion years ago.
It does not have light of its own, but reflects the light it receives from the Sun.
The Moon is surrounded by a vacuum and lacks an atmosphere. it has no liquid water on its surface. The surface temperatures on the Moon are extreme.
All these conditions on the Moon possibly do not support life.
The absence of air on the lunar surface makes the Moon a dry, lifeless, and very quiet place. As sound cannot travel in the absence of air or any medium.
Moon facts.
Phases of the Moon. The Moon is a non-luminous heavenly body.
We can see the Moon because the sun's light illuminates it.
The Moon revolves round the Earth, which in turn revolves round the Sun. As a result, the Moon at times comes between the Earth and the Sun, while at other times the Earth comes between the Sun and the Moon. This change in position of the Moon between the Sun and the Earth creates the phases of the Moon. Full Moon. The full moon takes place when Moon is on the opposite side of the Earth from the Sun. The Moon usually passes above or below the Earth's shadow. Thus, the Moon reflects the light of the Sun and thereby appears completely illuminated. New Moon. The new moon takes place when the Moon comes between the Sun and the Earth. During this time, the unlit side of the Moon faces the Earth, while its illuminated side faces the Sun.
Therefore, the Moon is not seen very clearly from the Earth on a new moon night.
Stars are shining because of the constant burning process that's going on inside of them. As a result of this burning, an enormous amount of light and heat is thrown into space. We see stars as tiny dots only because they are so far away from us. In order to get to even the closest star, not counting the Sun, we would have to fly for more than 100,000 years. Stars differ in size, brightness, and color. Also, the stars can vary in temperature. In ancient times, while observing stars, people grouped them into patterns called constellations. These constellations form a star map. Since the Earth rotates around its axis, the stars seem to move across the sky. It is actually the Earth which is moving. See? Only one star remains in its place all the time. This is the Polaris, or North Star. It is located directly above the North Pole. Earth's axis points directly toward the Polaris. Therefore, the Polaris indicates the direction due north. Let's locate the North Star in some constellations. The Big Dipper is a part of the constellation of Great Bear. Usually you can easily find it in the sky. If you connect the two extreme stars of the Big Dipper and then continue this line up to a bright star, you will find the Polaris. It's right on the edge of the handle of the Little Dipper, part of the Little Bear constellation. You can try to find some other constellations in the sky. This is Orion. It is easily recognizable by its belt made up of 3 stars. Cassiopeia. It looks like a letter W.
There are 8 planets in our solar system. They are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Pluto was once the 9th planet of our solar system, but now it is considered a dwarf planet. Venus is the hottest planet of the solar system. Earth is the planet where we live. It is the 3rd planet from the Sun, after Mercury and Venus. Earth is the 5th biggest planet of the solar system, but all the planets are tiny in comparison to the Sun. It takes 365 days to revolve around the Sun. Earth looks blue from space because it is mainly covered by water. Earth has 1 moon. There are many planets that have more than 1 moon. The moon revolves around the Earth as well as the Sun.
It takes the moon approximately 28 days to revolve around the Earth.
The moonlight we see from Earth is the light from the Sun. There are some small rocky bodies in the solar system that have been left over from the formation of the planets. These are called asteroids. Asteroids don't have enough gravity to pull them into the shape of a ball. Most of them lie in between Mars and Jupiter. Comets are balls of rock and ice that grow tails as they approach the Sun. Comets come from far away, an imaginary place at the edge of the solar system. As it moves closer to the Sun, the glowing tails are visible.